Good morning. Thanks for joining us for Extol Live, sponsored by NWSB, otherwise known as New Washington State Bank. I'm Angie Fenton, and I've got to just tell you, we have a party in here. Hence the reason we started just a couple of minutes late. But we want to welcome you to our weekly live stream. We have a whole bunch of guests back to back in here, a lot of familiar faces. I think we're going to have a great time. And as always, just wanted to remind you, if you're here, whether you're on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook page, my Facebook page, or even our Twitter account, drop us a hello. Let us know that you're there, because we're going to be giving away, this is on Extol, a $100 gift card to Mesa Kids Cooking School. And we'll talk more about Mesa Kids Cooking School in just a minute. But let's take a look at the guests that I do have here in the Extol kitchen with me. Chef Liz Martino is back, and if you could just smell what's cooking in here, it's all about bacon right now.
It is. Well, I'm taking the last bit of bacon out of the pan. We're going to make a quintessential Easter table favorite, I think. So we're going to be doing some deviled eggs. I'll show you how to properly peel a hard-boiled egg.
Okay, that's good.
Make it, and then hopefully enjoy a little snacks.
Well, we're also going to enjoy John Ryan Neese. He's here. Today is a very big day. Old 502 Winery opened a decade ago, and now tomorrow officially it's the celebration of their new space, 915 East Liberty Street.
That's right.
In Louisville. John Ryan, tell us about Old 502 Winery, especially that tasting room. You guys have been preparing for this for months.
So yeah, it's been, I came back in September, and we've been planning the opening of this tasting room since then. And tomorrow is actually going to be real. It still doesn't really feel real, but it's going to be, it's a great space. It's located right next to Fall City. And it's perfect for what we need, being the only urban winery in Kentucky. So come out and see us.
Since we definitely, Kentucky is a partner. We are all about Southern Indiana. I want to just establish this. You're a Hoosier. You're a hometown boy.
Oh, I am. Yeah, I grew up in the Knobs, went to Floyd Central with the Holy Family here in New Albany for grade school. So, while my business is over there, I still consider Southern Indiana home for sure.
Absolutely. Now with Old 502 Winery, we want to invite people. 11 o'clock is the official ribbon cutting. Shout out to Evan Harder, who has done an amazing job with a beautiful ribbon. And you're going to get an opportunity to say some words and thank some people, because this really has been a team effort led by you.
Oh, it has been. I mean, it took, from the construction guys to my parents to everybody else, all my employees and staff. It's just been, all hands on deck for the last 2 months, and we get to show our labor of love tomorrow, from noon to 8. So
now, old 502 grand opening of the new space, but Fall City is there, and you all have had a host of events all week long. Soft opening today. It's been crowds. Tomorrow is going to be a great day for people to come out and experience it, maybe dress in some 90s themes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not only are we doing the grand opening of the tasting room, but Fall City's having their birthday bash. So we'll have special beer releases throughout the day. We'll have flying axes out in the parking lot, so you can drink some beer and throw some axes. We'll see how good that goes, but it should be fun. We got a 90s cover band tomorrow night, and then we'll have Lots of Lobster food truck and Bay's Bakery there as well, providing some food and things like that throughout the day for both sides.
Okay, so I've always shared I'm sober by choice, and then part of it was just the beginning of my pre-diabetic battle. I'm trying to fight that. But prior to that, this right here, I don't know if we can get a close-up on that. I'll turn that around, but this is White Noise. That was my jam. We have an open bottle that lives here at Extol. Nobody is claiming to have opened it, but it looks like nobody drank that. Now, how popular is that white wine right there?
The White Noise has turned into, in my opinion, it's the best white that we have. I mean, it's as dry as we get. It's a white blend, closer to a Pinot Grigio family. Mm-hmm. We do have the Kentucky Lady if you prefer the sweet white, but to me, the White Noise is our quintessential white.
Now, what about, and I'll move this back, just for those of you who are joining us today, we have a shorter staff because it's Comic-Con in Indianapolis, and we've got a number of Comic-Con fans. But I'm going to turn these here because I know Fred is on the camera that goes close up. So let's talk about red wine and sweet red wine first. Which ones are
so
these?
the box is our, I call it adult grape juice. It's legitimately Concord grapes. So when you pour it in a glass and get a sniff of it, it smells just like Welch's grape juice. So think communion wine with a punch, or like I said, adult grape juice.
Grape juice.
The Bourbon Barrel Red is our semi-sweet. It's our flagship wine. It was the first wine that we ever produced at Old 502. It gets aged in a bourbon barrel, blended with 4 or 5 American grapes. So it's a lot of fun. If you haven't had it, definitely try it.
Okay, I'm going to save this one for last. Love the label on this.
So shout out to Bailey Burren. She handles all of our marketing and label making for Old 502. She came up with the way this logo looks. Now, granted, it is the KDF poster, but we get a little leeway in how we want our label to look. So being the official wine of Kentucky Derby Festival, I mean, they're such a great partner, and, you know, they're supporting us fully. They're going to have their staff out there tomorrow as well. So it's going to be fun for everybody.
Okay, and now we have to talk about this beautiful, beautiful wine.
So this is our 50-50. This is our first real go at a big wine. It's 50% Cab, 50% Pinot Noir. So this is only available in the tasting room right now, and I highly recommend coming out and get this because we only have a limited number of cases, and once they're gone, it's gone for a while. So if you get a chance to stop by, I'd recommend trying the 50-50 and taking a bottle home.
I've always wanted to ask you this. I mean, I've known you for a long time. You've known my husband, Jason Applegate, I mean, since you all were kids. An urban winery, I mean, and to celebrate 10 years of that, John Ryan, I mean, what does that mean to you? It's really a big deal.
Well, it's funny. I didn't at least realize it had been 10 years until the last couple of weeks. We were going through some old files and things and found our original paperwork and dates from when we took over Riverbend and rebranded. And, you know, it's just kind of one of those surreal moments. You're like, wow, we've been at this for 10 years. And, you know, it doesn't seem like it's been 10 years at all. So, and the urban winery thing, for us, it made sense because my goal with this was to show people in bourbon country that wine doesn't have to be a snooty thing. Anyone can drink wine and anyone can enjoy wine. And we can start you on your journey from sweet to semi-dry. Now we've kind of graduated a little bit and we've got some dry wines, but being urban, we don't have a vineyard. So, you know, we are constantly sourcing grapes from all over the country and sometimes South America. So, you know, we make it work with what we can get. And we believe, you know, we've got a premier product out there that we're starting to put some things on the shelf that you wouldn't normally see from Kentucky.
Absolutely. Well, I know you've got a busy day. I will see you tomorrow. Our team will see you tomorrow. 11 o'clock for the official ribbon cutting, 915 East Liberty Street. And people get an opportunity to see that incredible space and the tasting room. It's going to be a big old celebration. You deserve that.
Thank you, Angie. It is. It's going to be great. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for stopping by. Go to Old 502, that's 502.com for more information. We appreciate having John Ryan here, but we also appreciate our sponsor, NWSB, as well, for allowing us our Extol Live. Since our humble beginnings in 1908 as New Washington State Bank, we have offered banking the way you want it. Now known as NWSB, we have branches in the communities of Henryville, Charlestown, Borden, Jeffersonville, Sellersburg, Scottsburg, River Ridge, New Albany, and coming in 2022, a state-of-the-art branch in downtown Jeffersonville. As a local bank, all decisions are made right here in Southern Indiana. Our customers enjoy the personal relationships, and we value opportunities to show community support throughout the region. At NWSB, we offer myriad services and modern technology, from online banking to mobile apps with check capture. And we are always here to serve you face-to-face with a smile. At NWSB, you'll find banking the way you want it. Thanks for joining us for Extol Live, sponsored by NWSB. We already had John Ryan Neese of Old 502 Winery. That is 915 East Liberty Street in Louisville. The grand opening is tomorrow. Ribbon cutting is at 11 o'clock. The party will start officially at 12, but I think they're going to be celebrating starting actually now. He's headed back there right now, and they have much to celebrate, that's for sure. They're in a brand new space, but we're celebrating because we have Dr. Josh Kornberg, who is here. You may know him from Caesars Foundation, but we're really talking with him today about the fact that he is running for IU Board of Trustees. And you have to explain that, because Josh, when I heard that you were running, and by the way, I'm with Josh, when I heard that you were running, one of the things that I didn't know was that Indiana University actually has a trustee position that is elected
That's right.
by current students and alum.
So it's the alumni election is for any degree holder of Indiana University. So first, the trustees are the governing body of Indiana University. So not only Bloomington and IUPUI, but all of the regional campuses and all of the many different facets of the university. And there are 9 trustees, 6 are appointed by the governor, and 3 are elected by the alumni body at large. And so every year there is an alumni election, and I am one of 3 candidates who will be running for that open seat this year.
Why should people vote for you?
You know, first, I think it's more important to say, why should people even care about this in the first place?
Absolutely.
And I think it's interesting. Indiana University is one of the only public institutions that has a process in which alumni can vote for representation at that high level. Normally, it's the governor of the different states and areas that appoint these trustees. So Indiana is actually really unique in that. I think I make a unique candidate for this position for a couple reasons. One, I currently serve as the national chair of the IU Alumni Association, so I currently serve in a role to serve alumni all over the world. I'm a graduate of a regional campus right here in New Albany, IU Southeast, go Grenadiers. Very proud of my roots here in Southern Indiana. And I think my community and business experience really have set me up nicely to serve in this capacity. So I'm excited for the opportunity to serve the university in this way.
How does that work, and when do people vote?
Sure. So right now until the end of May, I am on a whirlwind tour across the state, making my way to every campus that IU has, and meeting with student leaders and finding out about issues that are important to them. I'm meeting with alumni leaders in different communities. But come June 1st, that will start the alumni voting. And so that will be an email that is pushed out to all alumni via email and social media. And as long as you're a degree holder from Indiana University at any campus, you're going to be eligible. Voting takes place from the 1st of June through the end of the month. And at 10 o'clock on June 30th, voting ends. And by noon on that day, we will know who the next trustee will be.
I'm with Josh.org is where you can visit. I love your website. We support what you're doing.
Thank
we
you so
think
much.
that you would make, and it's awesome, because if you were running for an elected official position, I would not say for or against, but I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm not an IU grad. I cannot vote for you. I support what you're doing because IU impacts our community.
Thank you.
But I have a bone to pick with you.
Sure.
Your shirt is amazing.
Yes.
I cannot believe you didn't wear the red and white striped pants.
You know, that's more of a practical issue. My body type really doesn't support wearing candy striped pants.
I think anybody can wear the candy stripe for IU.
I will tell you, I've tried on a pair of candy striped pants before, and
you were like, no.
I might consider at some point maybe doing, like, they have candy striped overalls, but
I love
this body composition does not support said candy striped pants.
Well, one of the Extol teammates who is in Indy today, who goes to IUS, is headed to Bloomington, coming up in the end of the summertime. He has the red and white stripe. Right. Is it red or maroon?
Well, so
or what do you
it's cream and crimson, but we use red and white. That's acceptable. But
there's a difference. But he wears those stripes, and our director that you can't see behind the camera, he is not a hater. He is a diehard UK fan. I married him anyway.
We can forgive people.
No, our daughter's a UK fan. I'm the outnumbered U of L fan. But I am, by proxy, just living in Indiana. I'm an IU fan just because I'm here. And we're converting him.
Hey, one step at a time. And it's so funny because so many people think of sports with Indiana University, but truly the global impact that the university makes is just will
amazing.
never be truly understood or felt. So it's a pretty unique opportunity to serve in this capacity. So I'm looking forward to it.
You have people like Dan Farmer of Juicebox Heroes. He's also host of Extol Eats for Us, who is an IU grad. You need cheerleaders
That's right.
like that.
Yep.
I love, and again, I'm with Josh.org. You can see, you're in the different schools, shirts and sweatshirts. Your dog Benson stars in some of this.
Benson.
What do you need to get elected in terms of people who are like, I'm with Josh, so how do I be with Josh?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's a great question. Right now, what I need more than anything is I need ambassadors. I need people to be willing to push out the message come June. Right now, we're kind of building the support system. And so if people are interested in learning more about me or about volunteering for the campaign, they can go to the website, imwithjosh.org. And there's a little section there that they can fill out. And myself or someone from the team will be in contact with them to get them started and help them with the materials that they need to push out the vote.
Okay, switching gears to Dr. Kornberg, Executive Director of Caesars Foundation.
Yes.
Tell people what you do there.
Yeah.
It's imperative to our community.
So the Caesars Foundation is a private foundation based out of New Albany that serves all of Floyd County. We were founded in 1999 after the construction of the casino locally. We currently have about $40 million in assets, depending on the day and what's happening in the market. But we have 4 major areas of impact. We do annual grants, major grants, small business loans, and then we have scholarships as well. So annually, we distribute more than $3 million a year in funds back out into our community. So I get to lead that wonderful organization, and I've got a great team and a great board that helps make that all possible.
Well, I have every month on the third Friday, it's the Hope Southern Indiana nonprofit. I'm on the board, and today Caesars came up, and I cannot tell you how much we appreciate the grant and the ability to spend that money to help serve our community. So
we are so proud of the organizations that we get to partner with, and Hope is a great example of a group that's doing wonderful work, and we're honored to be able to call you all a neighbor and a partner, and so it's our joy to be able to support that way.
Well, you are invited to stay, bacon, wine. I don't know what else Chef Liz has back there.
What more could someone ask for on a Friday morning?
The next time, though, that you come on,
sure,
bring Benson.
Bring Benson.
And we're going to figure out a way for those candy striped maroon and cream pants to show up. I just want one picture.
I will tell you, I do have red and white socks,
okay.
so
You're
if
good.
that matters.
You're good.
Yeah, so we've got lots of things covered.
I'm with Josh.org. Make sure that you go and visit there. But right now, thanks for joining us for Extol Live. Again, if you are watching us, leave a comment, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. We're going to be giving away a $100 gift card to Mesa Kids Cooking School. We'll talk more about that coming up. But also want to thank our sponsors, NWSB, otherwise known as New Washington State Bank, and Heritage Ford as well.
My name is Bert Hodge. I'm the general manager of Heritage Ford. When I was a child, I stuttered and was dyslexic. I started my career assigned to a junior position on a destroyer, and ultimately I commanded 5 ships, 2 minesweepers, 2 frigates, a SEAL commando ship. I got a lot of exposure to some of the world's greatest leaders. When I retired from the Navy, it was with the intent to join my father here at the dealership. My dad has been an important part of this community for 30 years.
The business has changed tremendously since then, but our moral values have remained the same.
This is a business where honor and integrity matter.
If I'm fair to my customers, they'll come back. If I'm fair to myself, I'll be here when they come back.
I'm proud to have served my country, and I'm proud to sell Fords to my community.
Thanks for joining us for Extol Live. We're having a party in here. We have a ton of guests. We've already talked with John Ryan Neese of Old 502 Winery, which has its official grand opening in its new space tomorrow, ribbon cutting at 11 o'clock. And the party is going to go on all day. It's 915 East Liberty Street. Just visit old 502, that's 502.com. Just had Josh Kornberg, who is a trustee candidate for the Indiana University race right now. But it's my pleasure that we now have Josh Staten, New Albany Economic Director of Redevelopment.
Economic Development and Redevelopment Director.
I screwed it up.
It's a long title.
I screwed it up again.
Takes up a whole business
Basically,
card.
he makes it happen here in New Albany. Josh is no stranger. Let's just talk some fun for a moment. It is gorgeous outside on this beautiful Easter weekend.
It is.
You're going golfing today.
We're going to try to. Jess and I like to get out and play a little bit. We've got Archie at home too, though, so we'll see if he's feeling better. We might drop him off at daycare and head out to the course.
I love that. And by the way, Jess is his wife, but she's the executive director of CASA of Floyd County, and they just had their ribbon cutting.
That's
Things
right.
are happening here.
That's right. She's done a phenomenal job.
Oh my
This
gosh,
is an
she
incredible
has.
organization, and they're doing some amazing stuff throughout the community.
Absolutely. So what is happening here in New Albany when it comes to small businesses?
So we just announced recently the end of phase 2 of our small business grant program. So a lot of people that may not know, the city of New Albany was awarded through the federal government $16.8 million as part of the American Rescue Plan Act to provide relief for small businesses, nonprofits, various other services throughout the community as we continue to deal with the ramifications of the COVID-19 pandemic. We did a phase 1 last year. We got 43 businesses, each $10,000 small business grants. This time around, we knew that there was still a demand. We knew there's still a whole lot going on, a whole lot facing small businesses. Everything from continued restrictions from the pandemic, supply chain problems, the cost of labor is going up. And so we know that they still need some resources and still need some help, and it was important for the administration to get that out there. We were able to get another 67 small businesses awards this time, about $590,000 additional dollars in the small business community.
Wow.
That puts us over $1 million to small businesses, 110 different small businesses located in New Albany that received help with this money.
What are you hearing from small businesses in terms of how they're doing? And I mean, obviously everybody has their own story, but overall,
it's been fascinating. Like you said, everybody has their own story. They're struggling, yes, but they're also being very creative. They're being innovative. They're doing different things to succeed. Some people that might have been doing one thing realize this doesn't work right now. I can't have people coming in and out of my store. I'm going to have a better online presence. Or they might look at maybe I do this, maybe I need to start making that. I think a great example was you saw different breweries, distilleries starting to make hand sanitizer. I know that's starting to phase back towards the beer and the liquor, which we're all excited about.
Right.
But yeah, I think the creativity that we've seen amongst the small business community is what's been amazing.
I just got off the phone, I mean, moments before I think you arrived with our publisher. And I mean, it's a supply, demand, paper issues, and the magazine aspect of Extol. I mean, they're talking about a 12.5 to 15% increase on top of each issue. And so that is forcing us to really take a look at what we're doing. And obviously, or maybe not so obviously, we started as a magazine, but that might be our heart, but we are a whole lot more. And I mean, for better or worse, thanks to COVID, we were among those who said, how can we stick to our mission of celebrating Southern Indiana and embracing businesses, but also staying in business? Because we faced a moment where, you know, we were in tears and fears and lots of, you know, expression of emotion where we just said, are we going to have to shutter here?
Yeah, and we're seeing a changed economy, not just throughout the country, but throughout the world, and it might not go back to the way it used to be. You have to be adaptable, or you run the risk of having to close down completely. And you look at it from a broader scale at the city even, you know, we used to have a lot of different commercial spaces, a lot of things like that. Now people are going to remote work.
Right.
People may not come back to offices. They might decide, I'd rather work at home. I'd rather start my own business from home. And that's why we're looking at different ways we can to not only help existing small businesses succeed, but also how do we transition how we approach small business growth in New Albany towards the future economy.
Right.
And that's attracting people that are remote workers that want to live here because they can go anywhere and run their business, right? So we have to do different like quality of life type projects, quality of place type projects. What puts New Albany in the conversation with areas that might have a warmer climate? They might have a beach, they might have mountains. Right. And so we have to compete now with those same cities for these same businesses that used to be located here, but now it's just people working from all over. And now we're attracting people as much as we're attracting business.
Little segue to that, and they're not a client, but they're our neighbors, Lancaster Lofts. They're leasing.
That's right.
The walkability in this area of New Albany, the amazing restaurants and shops and just community members. It's a destination place.
That's right. And we talked about Uptown Neighborhood, I think, last time we were on here, because I think they had just opened up last time I came on here. It's a great facility next door. There's a lot of great places to live in New Albany. Housing is something that we have focused heavily on. We've got a lot of cool different options that we're working on right now that are in the process in some way or another. And we're also working on other things, like you said, walkability, sidewalk improvements, bike lanes, parks and trails are big. You're going to start to hear a lot more about that going on. We've got a couple groundbreakings here in the next few months to get some construction projects going on the Greenway. We're going to be one of the first to extend the trail along Silver Creek North. We're taking the Greenway northward. We're taking the Greenway westward towards the old QRS recycling site. We're going to clean that up. We're going to turn it into an open green space area, another 48 acres of nature that people can just get out and experience. When beautiful days like this happen, we want you to be able to get outside.
That's one of my favorite things to do, is to take our 6-year-old Olive to the skate park and just let her go at it on that scooter. I always say thank you so much to the adult and professional seeming skaters who look out for the 6-year-old in her pink helmet and, scooter who's trying. But it's one of our most favorite things to do, and what an asset to the city. Any little hints, though, beyond that, at what's to come in the months ahead as we get into the warmer months?
I think there's a lot of different things to look at. Like I said, we've got several park projects and projects going along the Greenway. We've got some projects that we hope to announce pretty soon that have to do with public safety. We're going to continue to look at focusing on substance abuse. It's an issue facing the entire nation. Yes. New Albany's no different than anyone else with that. So we're looking at different things we can do to continue to make people's life just a little bit better.
I definitely love that. Who's the better golfer, you or your wife?
It depends on the day.
Okay. All right. That's the way golf goes, right?
That's right.
If people want to keep up with things that are happening in the city, I know Facebook is one place to go.
We do a great job on our Facebook of posting what's going on, different events, different projects coming along. The website, cityofnewaubany.com, is also a good place to look. So check us out online.
I appreciate you taking the time to be here. Again, for you, just like with Dr. Kornberg, we invited him to stay. I know that Liz is cooking bacon, and
I can smell it. It smells great.
She's got amazing stuff that's over there. Right now, it's just the bacon.
Bacon's good enough.
Bacon and wine. So we'll have that coming up. But we're actually going to take a move over here to JD Dotson. Instead of jumping to a video, JD from Breathe and Move 502 is going to get us moving. I thought he might actually recruit some people for stretching, but apparently I'm it.
You're it. I thought Paige was going to be here from...
I'm going to pop a piece of gum in my mouth, but we can go ahead and go to a wide shot. So
we're going to get it.
We're going to get that?
Yeah.
And then let's go ahead and get Kyle set up for our next interview. But yes, as you can see, once again, I dressed for the occasion.
Well, knowing this and knowing that you would probably be in the most gorgeous gown, I wanted to just do a stretch, because I think a lot of times it's just really important. Anything you do, even if you're not going to work out, get up there and stretch and move. So I have a couple of them. It's a standing one, so you're going to like this.
And little caveat here. So I have a 50% tear in my rotator cuff. And I'm actually doing really well, because it starts to hurt right about here, but at least I'm able to lift it. A few days ago, I couldn't lift it more than this. So I'll modify what I'm doing, right? So we modify everything. Yep. Okay. So what do we start with?
So we're just going to do a standing hip rotation. So just stand. Can you stand on one foot?
I can. You can. Maybe.
If you need to hold on to something, hold on to something, a wall. Basically, you're just going to stand. You're going to lift your foot up here.
Okay.
And you're going to rotate it out there.
Oh, when you say hip rotation, I started but that's not what you meant. Okay, so
here,
you
can. Here, out, and down.
And down.
And just kind of do this.
Okay.
And then we're going to reverse the order, right? So out, and then in, and down.
Now you're asking me to be coordinated, JD.
Look at you, you're good. Switch sides, I would do that.
Okay.
Anywhere 30 to 60 seconds.
And it's funny because age messes with us, but I've been having there's one area right here, sometimes I'm like, oh, and I did it by just brushing my daughter's hair.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, I feel like a lot of times I'll go all day without moving at all. There she is in the tree pose. And then the next one we're going to do.
I'm doing this for balance. That's
Yeah.
all that is. Okay, next one.
The next one we're going to do is a lunge and a twist with a side bend. And with your shoulder, I don't want you to do this. So just a lunge. You've got a flowy dress on. So I'm going to lunge out, and I'm going to just bend down. I don't want this knee to go in front of my foot, so right there. Okay. And I'm just going to twist over to the side of my knee, right? It's great twist right there.
I'm not going to lunge too much.
Yep. Twist over toward me.
Oh, I'm doing the wrong leg.
You're fine.
You mean my other right?
Your other right. Okay. And then, depending on your shoulder, you can bring your arm up and kind of bend over. But if you don't, just bend your body over. And you're good. And then
that feels good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm stuck.
And then you can do the other side. You can do the other side as well.
Okay.
Lunge. Okay. We're going to twist toward our bent leg.
Twist toward the bent leg.
And then
raise
it.
We'd use some music, but Facebook will pull that down. YouTube will pull that down. We need like somebody to give us a beat.
Where's my box? So, a quad stretch. These are, I think, hard for a lot of people too, balance-wise. So I'm going to hold onto the wall.
They feel so good.
But they feel good. Just grab that foot if you can. Stand up straight and pull until you feel it right there on the front of your leg. My favorite. I do that with standing. And the great thing is, you have a great desk, by the way.
Oh, Jason's trying to give us a beat. Why am I trying to dance? I mean, it's just that kind of Friday, I think. Like, I am intent on getting down today. I have a desk that you can stand or sit.
And I think a lot of times I'm stuck behind the counter, So I'll stand up and move, just stretch it out. So let's do a lateral squat stretch.
We've got Chef Liz Martino in the kitchen. She feels a beat. How do you not?
I love it. We're just going to do a lateral side stretch, squat stretch. So just the same kind of area. You're doing a side. This one might be a little more difficult. Just kind of get down and...
This is fire. I'm down.
You're down.
You may have to give me back up.
Up, and then just do the other side. Just go down.
He says, just do the other side. Okay, workout king. Oh.
Yep. And then the last one, just for this, I mean, there's a million we can do, right? It's just a floor sweep. So you're going to just put your heel out there like that.
Okay.
Sweep the floor. This one goes out to sweep the floor. You'll feel that right back there.
It feels good.
Yeah, right back there. This one goes out to my workout friend, Missy Owens. This is one of hers, and she has taught me the importance of the stretch.
I love it.
She's a brilliant human.
Tell us a little bit about Breathe and Move 502.
So Breathe and Move, I'm a lucky human. I have a business partner, Sarah Sharmoli, who does amazing breath work. So she'll lead people in breathwork classes. You can check those out on our website. We do a run club on Wednesday nights. We do a Monday night drop-in body weight class. So no weights, just your body as the weight, which is a lot of fun. And effective. We had a full moon meditation last night. So there's a yoga teacher on Saturday, every other Saturday morning right now, and lots of things. And then I will I'm available for personal training, like 1-on-1, 2-on-2.
How can people find you?
breatheandmove502.com.
breatheandmove502.com. And speaking of moving, we're going to move back over here. JD's going to stick around with us. Going to move back over here for our next guest. I'm just going to walk off camera because that's the way.
You can lunge off camera. That's what I'm going to do.
I like the music. I might dance off camera. There's Fred, and we're breaking the camera. That's all right, Fred. We needed that. Oh my goodness, Kyle, you had no idea what you were getting yourself into. No, I know, that's for sure. This is, and we'll get set up here in just a second. We'll get set up. I think we've got a little bit of a light issue right there. Okay. Kyle Mitchell is what's known as a social anxiety coach, as well as a speaker. He's done a TEDx talk. There's all kinds of things that you can find out by visiting socialanxietykyle.com. But bringing it back just for a moment to kind of switch gears, we're going all over the place in terms of emotions. Let's start with this. Social anxiety, I think we all all have heard the term. We're hearing it more and more. First of all, what does that mean, Kyle?
Social anxiety is, well, we all know what anxiety is, but it's kind of having anxiety in social situations. You feel like people are negatively judging you in those social situations. And this can range from a lot of different things. This can be feeling anxious, like standing in line at McDonald's. It can be feeling like people are judging you for the way that you walk. Believe it or not, that is extremely common.
Yes.
Lots of people have told me that, as well as I struggled with that with myself. So that's pretty much the basic definition.
Does social anxiety and self-worth go hand in hand? Are there connections, or are they two different things?
I think there's definitely connections. What I always tell people is if you can build your self-love, your self-worth, then you're going to care less and less what people may be negatively thinking about you. So I think if you can build that, the less your social anxiety goes down.
What about your story? Why did this become such an important topic for you?
Because I experienced it personally. I transferred from a really small private school with about 200 students in it. And then I went to this very large public school with 1,600 students in it. So, it was my first time ever going to a public school. I knew no one there. First time I ever even rode a bus to school. And I remember getting there and realizing that the bus dropped me off every morning 40 minutes before my first class even started. And I didn't know what to do for 40 minutes. Like I said, I don't know anybody here and know where to hang out. And personally, I want to just go sit in the corner, be by myself. But I feared people would negatively judge me, wondering, who's that loser over there? So I had to come up with a plan, and on the spot, I was like, I know what I'll do. I'll just walk the halls in circles for 40 minutes. I'll just be able to blend in. Nobody's going to ever notice. Until one day, somebody did notice eventually. I got on the bus to head home from school, and somebody called me out in front of everybody and said, "Why do you walk the halls in circles every morning?"
What did you say?
I don't know if I had a response, but I did have a feeling that I think we're all familiar with when it feels like your heart just drops down into your stomach.
Yes.
And the next day at school, obviously I knew I couldn't walk the halls anymore. So from that day on, I would just go in the bathroom stall and I would sit there and I would cry. And I would have all these thoughts in my head like, Kyle, why can't you do this?
And you were how old again? You were in high
when I was
school.
a sophomore, so I was 15 years old at this point.
So you're in the bathroom, you're crying, you are, social anxiety ridden. What do you do? Because you're mired in that. How do you get out of that? Because that can become dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's social anxiety, struggling with general anxiety, depression, whatever mental health struggles that you are going through, my best piece of advice I can give to someone is go talk to somebody.
Yes.
The worst thing you can do is just hold it all inside, because then it just bottles up, and eventually you're going to explode. And like I said, it can become dangerous, and who knows what comes of that. But that's what I did. Was I eventually found someone that I trusted, my counselor and my parents. And I just talked to him and said, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I'm not sure what this means, but I am struggling every single day right now. Like, I need help.
I have been watching your Facebook, or mostly your Instagram reels, really, and they're very relatable for people who've ever gone through that. And I also think that for those who have struggled with what other people think about you. And I always say to my daughter, it's none of your business. It is none of your business what someone else thinks about you, and others don't define our worth or who we are. And I hope that I'm imparting that on her. But there are people, especially after, the imposed lockdown and, self-quarantining, people who are not ready to get back out into the world. And it's been exacerbated, that just social anxiety. And I say just, even though I don't mean it like that, because it's all consuming sometimes. You have 3 tips that you can offer people right now. Kyle, what are those? What are things we could do today?
Yeah. So step 1 is to shower yourself with self-love. lots of ways to do this. My personal favorite way is when I get up in the morning, after I do my meditation, some of the other stuff I do, is I'll go in the bathroom, I'll play some music that kind of gets me get me hyped up.
Okay, give us an example. What is that?
So if you've ever heard of like a song in the background of like a battle scene in a movie,
Oh, yeah.
like gets you
Something-
hyped, like dun, 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 dun. So that's the type of music I
Yeah.
play. And then while that's playing, I look in the mirror and I speak positive self-affirmations. And so with that music going, it helps me get my emotion into it, even if it's something I'm saying that I don't necessarily believe, but I want to manifest it or believe it about myself. Because I think that's the biggest mistake is people saying like, I am confident, where if I have the music playing, I'm like, I am confident, I am amazing, you know, I can get myself
Yes.
into it. Step 2 is to find baby step uncomfortable challenges. So this is probably
That's hard.
the more challenging one, and that's why I have step 1 being step 1.
Mm-hmm.
But it's by doing these little exposure challenges, otherwise known as exposure therapy, people can train their brains in really small steps to realize when they need anxiety produced by their brain and when they don't. Because there's good anxiety and then there's
Sure.
bad anxiety. It's good anxiety if I lose my child at the mall. I should feel really anxious.
Yes.
But if I'm in class as a teen and I have a question, I shouldn't feel anxious about raising my hand.
Right.
I'm not in danger at that point. So it's all about training your brain. And then number 3, which I think is one of the most important steps, is rewarding your efforts, not your results. Because all these challenges are really just going outside your comfort zone.
Right.
And the only thing it takes to go outside that comfort zone is your effort. And we can't control the results, what comes on after that. I mean, yeah, I started a challenge where I would raise my hand 1 time in every single class. But it was all things that I can control. It was not raise my hand 1 time and answer a question right every time.
Right.
Because then it gets to the point of I'm feeling bad about myself because I'm not, accomplishing that. Whereas when I focus just on my effort, then the only reason that it could go wrong is if I just don't go do it. But as long as I put on the effort and then I reward myself for that effort, which kind of helps train your brain again to more focus on that effort, then it makes it way easier. So when I first started doing them in college, I rewarded myself with something as simple as just playing 1 hour of Xbox before starting on my homework. Like that was really good. Like it helped me and kept me consistent and keep going.
I love this topic because I do think it's intertwined in so many different ways, but also gives people hope. I mean, you know what that was like to sit in a bathroom and cry and feel like there's no way out of this, and you're proof that there is. When you gave the TEDx talk, how big of a milestone for you was that?
It's unbelievable. I mean, something I would have never thought was even possible 5 years ago. What I always tell people is we had to do a senior speech in high school, and I stuttered through the whole thing. Not because I had a stuttering problem, just because I was so unbelievably anxious.
Yeah.
I couldn't get words out. And so for me to go from there to giving a TEDx talk, like one of the biggest public speaking stages, is like surreal.
That's a really big deal. Kyle, in your capacity as a social anxiety coach, you can actually help people who need that. And one of the things that you said that I think is very poignant, no matter what it is, social anxiety or anything having to do in particular with mental health. Because I mean, physical health, we go, shoulder's broken, so I'm going to go to the doctor. But when it comes to our mental health and mental well-being, talk to somebody, take that step. But that's one of the things that you can help people with.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Social anxiety, Kyle. Do people say that? Hey, social anxiety, Kyle. Do they call you that sometimes?
I guess maybe on social media. I've never had somebody on the street come up and say that to me.
Well, here I am. So we're breaking all the rules today. Really appreciate you taking the time. That's for sure. I think it's important work that you're doing. SocialAnxietyKyle.com. And I encourage you to follow him. I love him on Instagram. It's a daily dose, if not multiple ones, that just make you know you're not alone, because you really apply to or appeal to a variety of people who battle with that of all levels. Well, here's something that is the anti-anxiety inducer, that's for sure. Some of our furry friends at Jeffersonville's Animal Shelter would love to say hello. And by the way, Many of them are up for adoption as well. Aww, we have 4 cats, 4 dogs, a cat at the office. I mean, what's one more when you're sitting there watching the Jeffersonville Animal Shelter cats? Oh, absolutely amazing. Well, of course, I'm joined by Chef Liz Martino, and so happy that you're going to teach us how to peel eggs the real way, but also we have Paige Trinkle and Brian Bell from the Arts Alliance, and we'll talk about what's coming up with them. It's got so many things going on and exciting things coming up. But first, what have you been making other than bacon? Because everybody smells bacon.
Well, I have been making, like I said, I think it's important to be on just about everyone's Easter table is deviled eggs.
For sure.
But I like a little bit more than just the ones that I grew up with. Don't tell my mom, but So I'm going to make some today. I probably will have to put my microphone down to do that.
Here, I'll hold it for you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
First, I'll give you these couple tips. So I know hard-boiled eggs are the worst.
They are the worst.
So a few tips will make them turn out perfectly. You want to start out with your older eggs. So if you have a dozen eggs in the refrigerator and you buy new eggs and you're going to say, well, I'm going to get these because I'm going to make deviled eggs, use the ones that you already have in the fridge. Actually, the membranes inside and the gases that kind of take place in here while it's aging help pull the egg away from it after it cooks. So it's a great way to use up eggs. And then I'm going to, of course, crush it all over just like this. And I like to give myself a little bit of water. And look at that. They peel right off.
Such a pro. I mean, right when I do that, that's about half the eggs that just peeled off and I just wasted. So that goes in the dog bowl.
The trick really is that not to use the freshest of eggs. Let them sit in the refrigerator for even like a week and they'll be okay. So
beautiful.
For our mixture, I've got all of our egg yolks in here. And it's going to be a really quick and simple. I have mayo. About a third to half a cup per dozen eggs.
Okay.
I have some Dijon mustard.
Love it.
And I've been cooking this bacon. I'm not going to put the bacon in the filling because I'm going to pipe it, but I am going to add just a little bit of the bacon fat. And I want to get some of these drippings in the culinary world. That's called the fond, all the yummy flavor on the bottom.
In my house, that's just called the goodness.
It is the goodness. I'm going to take some of our green onions, and I'm using the greens, and I've sliced them very thin. You can use greens. You can use the white parts as well. Okay. But I find that because we're not cooking it, this is just works out a little bit better. And we want to cut them thinly or rough chop them. And I'm going to use a little bit of lemon juice.
Oh.
Lemon juice is already in your mayo, I know, but it just brightens every flavor just a little bit because you need it. I like to do a little dash of hot sauce. You could also use cayenne pepper. If you don't like spice, you can use paprika. I'm going to do some crushed pepper. Salt, not too much because we did add the bacon fat. I'm just going to whisk this up. And you can do this with a mixer. You can do this in a food processor or a blender. But I like the colors. Put this down here. I like the colors.
It looks beautiful already.
Yes. Let me grab a. So doing it in a mixer or a blender would kind of, I don't know, tear up our herbs a little bit. That's perfect. So good trick.
Of course it's perfect. You just made it. If you don't know, Chef Liz is part of the family. I mean, she's got a key to Extol. She's welcome anytime. We love having her here.
Well, how can you go wrong with bacon and all these yummy things? So this is
Or
a little
Chef
trick.
Liz.
I've got our Falls City beer cup
Okay.
in honor of our 502 winery friends. So I have a Ziploc bag, and I have a tip that I've cut the bottom off the bag, and I'm going to use this just kind of to help me.
For the pipe, okay, to
Yep.
pipe it in there.
Now I have it, and I can just use the cup and the edge of the cup to get all of my filling inside. Okay. I'll set this here. Look at that. So, yep, I'm just going to pipe it. I'll pipe it in a few now to start.
Now that's how you look like a pro, right
I
there.
know. And if you don't have a tip, that's fine. Use the bag anyway and cut a small hole, and you'll have nice rounds. So
Where do you get a tip like that?
Actually, you can get it at any grocery store, but I'll tell you what, I really love to support local. So I go to Cake Lady's Dream Shop for just about all of my personal needs and a lot of the school needs. They're right down the street, and they're just fantastic. They're so helpful, and they always have everything I need.
Okay.
Here's where my bacon comes into play. I'm going to add some bacon to the top. It's nice and crispy.
I went vegan for so long, and I forgot.
You forgot.
I forgot that ever happened when I see you do this.
And then I have some more of our scallions, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just because I'm going to just grate a little tiny bit of lemon zest over each of my eggs, and that is going to just bolden the flavor up even more. So that's that.
So
super easy.
Can you do this with dyed eggs? Because a lot of us will have
those are great. Yes, and you know what? That's perfect because you usually do them for Easter. Some really fun tricks to do. I've seen a lot of really fun tricks in dyeing. You can actually take your eggs, crush it just like I did for this.
Yes.
And then add your eggs. And then when you cut them, you have a really beautiful little color, like those dinosaur eggs or something like that. I really enjoy it.
What else did you bring for us, though? Because I've seen some people who are eyeing those sweet treats that you have on hand.
So we have an this is a pilot program that we just started this year for our older students. And we've been doing an advanced skills class, and we're modeling it after culinary school, like a pre-prosser kind of thing for our students, or even sometimes in place of prosser. And so we've been doing baking techniques, and this is a creaming method. So we made cookies, and they just get really crazy. So we made a savory shortbread with like 3 types of cheeses and herbs from our garden at Mesa Kids.
Okay.
And then we have our basic chocolate chip cookie that's not so basic. It's a sweet and salty with cornflakes, pretzels, pecans, sea salt, and chocolate chips. And they just raided our kitchen, and this is what they came up with.
Okay, let's go ahead and get some close-ups of those if we can,
They
please.
look so wonderful. I can't believe the kids made them. I think they look professional, like they came out of the bakery.
They look phenomenal there.
But they can't sit at Mesa Kids, so I wanted to bring them and share with you guys, along with some fun Easter candy from Squire Boone.
Oh, well, happy Easter to you. And I know you're going to keep filling these up. At the end, we'll have everybody come up and do some taste testing. But switching gears just for a minute here, and I don't think you have, I'm going to go ahead and see if we've got that other handheld. We've got another handheld microphone somewhere around here. I think maybe. Oh, it's right there. Here, JD, you can help out. Like I said, half of our staff is at Comic-Con in Indianapolis. So we've got a lot of people, a lot of moving parts today, which is just fine. Look at that. I got this. All right. The Arts Alliance of Southern Indiana has a ton of events that are coming up. Brian Bell and Paige Treacle joining us today. Lots of exciting stuff.
Yeah, so our calendar is pretty much jam-packed for this year, starting in the spring. We have Shakespeare starting tomorrow night at the Floyd County Library. They're actually doing it inside on their first floor. And then I think next week is Bicentennial Park in New Albany. We have 7 locations this year in Southern Indiana for Shakespeare in the Park.
So last year was Romeo and Juliet, and that was fantastic. But this year, it's a different play.
It is. It's Julius Caesar is going to be the play. And it's all done by Kentucky Shakespeare, so it's all professional actors and actresses.
They do, top-notch job. And to be able to watch it in different venues, we traveled from place to place, and each time, even though it's the same performance, it was different. every single time.
Well, I think our girls loved it because they got snacks at every different
Yes.
place that we went to.
Brian has a daughter who is BFFs with my daughter as well, and so they did get.
They like the snacks.
They like
That's
the
what
snacks.
it was. All
but
the different
we enjoyed
snacks.
Kentucky Shakespeare.
That's right. Right.
What else do we have going on?
So during Shakespeare, it goes until I believe May 20th. And check our website, sointoart.org/Shakespeare, and it tells you all the different locations. And then moving into our actual gallery shows, Elaine Davis does pet portraits.
Yes.
And she will be opening her show on
May 1st. At 2 o'clock. So you don't want to miss that. If you love your pet, you're going to love to see how she works her craft, and she has really perfected it. So you just have to come and see how wonderful she has perfected her craft. May 1st at 2 o'clock.
Oh, I love that. Going back for a second, you said Bicentennial Park is next Saturday, which is Thunder Saturday, and I had to just look it up. As of this very moment, we're in the region where it could be snowing by the time I say this. A low of 52, a high of 78, and all sun. That's going to be a magical
And what's
time.
cool about this is that the production is at 6:30, so Thunder doesn't go off until about 9 something. So if you're at the Bicentennial Park, you can see the fireworks if you don't want to go into the big crowds.
Yes.
So we figured this would be a great way for people to experience Shakespeare and then see some fireworks afterwards. A couple other things that we have that's really cool is our Monarch Educational Gardens, opened last year. And we have a couple artists that are doing some very creative things that are going to be seasonal, that are going to come out, and we'll actually roll those out. But Paige has been instrumental in creating an imagination hour that's going to take place in our gardens. So won't you tell them a little bit about Imagination Hour?
I'd love to. So Imagination Hour is going to take place one Saturday each month, and that's going to start in May and end in August. And you can go to our website to register on a link there. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to read a book in our beautiful Monarch Educational Garden. And after that, we're going to guide the students back to the carriage house, and we're going to have a corresponding art program and art lesson. So it's just going to be a great way to spend a Saturday.
Absolutely, that is.
And our website, I know we mentioned a couple of times, it's sointoart.org. Make sure it's .org.
.org.
Yep.
It's sointoart.org. And like you said, the Monarch Festival that's coming up is going to be bigger and better. And I didn't know that was possible because last year was phenomenal, but it's going to be bigger and better this year.
Yeah, and that's a partnership and collaborations with Mount St. Francis. So it's actually there on their property. They're beautiful 300 and some odd acres. And it's going to be like Catholic picnic nostalgia. Plus, we're going to have bands. We're going to have a beer garden. We're going to have the kids zone with all the inflatables, a chicken dinner that we're going to be doing. And then obviously the experience with the Monarch butterflies, and then the release between 4 and 5 o'clock.
Which is such an experience. Well, to learn more about the Monarch Festival at Mount Fest, take a look at this video. Save the date for the Monarch Festival at Mount Fest. Join us June 4th at Mount St. Francis for another spectacular event featuring fine arts and crafts, live music, an extraordinary immersive butterfly experience, tantalizing food trucks, adult beverages, a kids zone with inflatables, booths, games, and so much more, all at one of the most picturesque places in our region. The Monarch Festival at Mount Fest is 12 to 8 p.m. June 4th at Mount St. Francis. Visit monarchmountfest.com for more details. Thanks for joining us for Extol Live today. Like I told you at the very beginning, it's been a jam-packed show. We're nearing the end, and I cannot wait to explore these. We have Donna Shaw, who is an artist, as well as Kim Carnes from the Greater Clark County Schools and an elementary library. Now you're the library coordinator. Let's start here. Minnie Maple Studio. Donna, what is that?
Yes, I started sculpting a couple of years ago, and partially as a hobby. Everybody was sort of finding ways to cope with 2020, and it just sort of, I started turning into requests for people to ask me commission to do sculptures and dioramas, and you can see behind me that it sort of grew from there. So.
Now, how is Kim partnering with you on this, and how can the community help with the literacy project? Because this is all intertwined.
Yes, we're really excited about Literacy Project on behalf of the Greater Clark Elementary School Libraries. We are looking for sponsors to help us create 10 dioramas that are book themed, both fiction and nonfiction, as well as provide new books to the Greater Clark Library. So throughout the school year, all 10 dioramas will travel to the different elementary schools with the special collection of books that they can check out. And it's just a really great way to encourage imagination, literacy, creativity. And we actually already have 2 that are at the schools right now. And the response from students and the staff has just been really positive so far, would you say?
Definitely.
Let's go ahead and get up close, and in just a second, we'll show you what those look like. So we're going to have Fred go ahead and get up close, because I want to talk specifically about the intricacy of these. When you were coming into our office today, I told you I got the bum shoulder, so I can't lift as much as I would like to. I mean, instantly, I felt like a kid again.
Oh, good.
First, what goes into the creation of these? I mean, these are magical.
Oh, thank you. You know, I think I've explained it to some as being a visual storyteller.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, I have found so much healing and joy in just allowing myself to play with clay. And I have 2 kids, they're 14 and 12, and they have given me ideas or sculpture prompts like, oh, you should try to make this, Mom. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you had, you know, a rabbit with an inflatable duck? And there he is over there with his little goggles on. And yeah, it's really surprised me. And it's funny that you said that you felt like a kid whenever you saw them come in. I have had so many adults tell me that, and they said, oh, I wish I could live there in your little rabbit village. The 2 large panels are actually they're 2 of 6 panels that are going to be on display at the Jeffersonville Library this summer. And so if you want to see them in person, because it really is hard to see all the details unless you're up close, you can come to the Jeffersonville Township Public Library in July and August to see them.
Now, you go ahead and keep talking,
Okay.
but I'm gonna keep asking questions, but I'm coming back here. I don't know if you can see this, but when you go through those windows inside of here, I mean, I want to go sit down in there and take a book out and read. I mean, I'm very glad my 6-year-old is in school right now,
Right.
because one, we're appreciating. We're still in that mode of learning to appreciate with your eyes.
Yes.
But I'm in like this little rabbit family, and I mean, the beehive. This is stunning.
Thank you.
Absolutely stunning and magical. So, Kim, I mean, for you, what does a project like this do for students, especially our youngest ones?
Oh, the excitement level just goes through the roof. You know, Kevin Henkes is a great author, and he writes these cute little books, but they mostly sit on the shelves.
Right.
But when we put this diorama out with these adorable little mice, and we've set all the Kevin Henkes books around it, boom, they're gone. And the librarians are having to write down names of the kids who want them when those come back, because they're all gone. And so and then they'll have the kids do little art projects based on them. And yes, what they're able to do with them, I love to watch the personalities of the different librarians come out as they come up with different ideas of how to use the dioramas to generate the excitement.
They are a variety of sizes. So how much time?
A lot of time. I think each diorama, about 20 hours plus. And, you know, and a lot of that is just sculpting the fine details, but then there's also building the trees. You know, I'm using dried plants and wire and clay to create those. And so I have to kind of see it, you know, and break down into all the different steps. And yeah, it's a labor of love, but you know, I have such a heart. I worked in the school for a couple of years, and I have such a heart to support the teachers and the staff who continue to serve our kids through unprecedented difficulties, and for the students too. You know, they're having to face things that a lot of us have never had to encounter.
Absolutely.
So if I can do this one thing to help teachers, staff, and students to find joy in learning, then that is a privilege, and it's my pleasure to help with that. So.
Absolutely. And again, how can people help? What are you looking for again?
Yes. Right now, the biggest thing is cost, because display cases and clay and miniature plants and things we need investors, we need sponsors. So we already have 2 sponsors signed up to help with us: the Jeffersonville Public Art Council and the Greater Clark Educational Foundation are both sponsoring us. We would love to have 8 more. So that we can really go bigger and have some of these larger pieces on display. And it also helps cover the cost. Every student in Greater Clark schools will get a free bookmark with the project information on it, and they'll get 3 new books that'll be in circulation permanently. So that's what we need.
Kim, the passion that it's clear that you have, not just for the kids, but for literacy is, it's so evident. This is an important project.
It really is. Reading changes your life.
Yes, it does.
It opens doors to worlds you would never be able to visit otherwise. And my passion is to light that fire in every child, to get them to want to read, because it can change your life.
I am proof of that. And I'm every day when I watch my daughter open a book and she's reading words and she looks up at me and she's, experiencing something completely new. It does something for the soul. It absolutely does. Now, minimaplestudio.com,
Yes.
Mini Maples that's plural, studio.com. And will the public, in addition to the kids, ever get a chance to get up close?
Well, with the large panel, yes, anyone will be able to come up and see it in the art gallery. The dioramas, I think teachers and staff, I'm not sure who else will be able to come in.
Well, we're doing kind of a 1-year lease on those.
Yes.
So after the next school year, we haven't really decided what will happen with those 10 dioramas. So maybe.
Stay tuned is what Kim is saying, which we love. We love. There's more to the story. And Donna, we look forward to helping you at Extol. We believe in your project, and we are here, like I said to you before, totally off camera. If we can help in any way, we're here to do that, because we believe in it. We believe in the power of books and reading, and librarians are rock stars in our book. That's for sure. No pun intended with that. But we really appreciate you, and we hope that you're going to stick around for bacon and deviled eggs and sweets and treats. And maybe have to go back to school. I'm not quite sure, but we have wine. We do. We also have water. So that's for sure. We're just so glad that you've joined us for Extol Live. But in addition to our usually weekly live stream, we also have a Saturday morning show called This Is So In that is all about showcasing Southern Indiana. And you better believe that you're going to see Mini Maples and the Literacy Project on there coming soon. But here's just a little hint at what you could expect at 7:30 a.m. Saturday mornings on WBKI, the CW, that's WDRB's sister station.
This is so in.
This is so in.
This is so in. This is so in. This is so in.
Watch This Is So In, 7:30 Saturday mornings on WBKI, the CW. Woo! We did it. Kind of. We're here. Oh, we're on Fred. All right. Let's get a wide shot instead. Everybody can kind of come on in here. I told you half of our camera crew is in Indy enjoying Comic-Con. We've got some handhelds. Okay, let's make sure that those are on. If they're green, green light, those are on. Half of them are at Comic-Con, so we're wishing Mila and Colin and Lucas, we hope you're having fun. I think actually Mila texted me at some point some pictures because they all dressed up in themed gear. JD, I'm going to have you're still mic'd up. Have you step in here. Which do you want to try first?
All of that. Anything in that area.
Can we start passing? Is that okay, Chef? Can we start passing? Because what I need to do is go ahead and see who has commented, because it's been such a packed show. I haven't had an opportunity to taste test anything. I'm going to let Liz go ahead.
Happy Easter to me.
Can we do this? Can we do this starting with Josh, and we'll pass the mic around Dr. Kornberg, how are
that would
you
not be good of a
spending
shop
this
opening.
Easter weekend?
Yeah, so this weekend we are going to be going to my sister's house. We typically do a big Easter egg hunt, and all the kids and nieces and nephews come over, so it's always a lot of fun.
So you know what to do with the Easter eggs if you're a deviled eggs fan.
That's right, that's right.
Josh Staten, how about you? I mean, you've got a little one, although
That's
he's
right.
getting bigger, but
He'll be 1 in a couple weeks, actually. So it's exciting Easter for us. It's his first Easter, but we're going to my brother-in-law's house up in Salem. So.
oh, okay, that sounds amazing. Chef Liz, what about you? What is Easter? Do you cook? I'm going to ask it. Do you cook everything?
No, not all the time. My family works together. Usually it's my parents and me that do most of the cooking. But Easter is a great way just to kind of relax as a family. We don't have many days off, so we'll be doing an Easter hunt, an Easter egg hunt, and probably chilling out for most of the day, snacking on Easter basket candy.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm going to come see a 6-year-old.
Uh-huh. This
And
is a
then-
godfather.
And then go to my mom's and watch my nieces and nephews fight over. My sister puts money in eggs and hides them in the oven. It's a disaster.
We're just doing candy.
And the adults sit up on the deck and watch and
we put money in ours.
Cocktails.
Well, we normally do one of those fundraisers, Egg My Yard, and last year we did it, and it was awesome, and Olive had so much fun. And we paid extra because it went to a great cause for the bunny footprints that would wash away in the rain. They're still there.
Still there.
The bunny must live at our house is what our 6-year-old thinks. I'm going to pass that here. Paige, what about you? What's the family doing?
Well, we definitely go to mass, but it's kind of turned into a mass and a fashion show with my 2 teenage daughters because they like to plan their outfit like 2 weeks in advance. But after that, it's a lovely little get together at my aunt's house, and we do it every year. So it's fantastic.
And Mr. Brian Bell?
Well, obviously we wake up because I have a 5-year-old and she wants to know what the Easter bunny has left her. So that's a production in itself. And then we go to mass, and then the family gets together for brunch, and there's an Easter egg hunt put in there, and there is money in the eggs. So she's, all about that, so she can go buy more LOL stuff.
I'm going over to your mom's house and your house for the Easter egg hunt. Where's the adult Easter egg hunts here? Donna, what about you? Yes, next year.
My husband's a music minister at Eastern Heights Baptist Church, so Easter Sunday is a very busy day, but a lot of wonderful time together. And Kim and I actually go to the same church, so our kids will be there. My kids will help hide eggs for the younger kids.
And my daughter will help find them.
Yes. So, and then a meal with family.
Okay.
Yes.
That sounds fantastic. Well, once again, we want to thank you for joining us for Extol Live. Thanks to all of our guests who took the time to be here. John Ryan Neese. Old 502 Winery opens tomorrow. 11 a.m. is the official ribbon cutting. That's 915 East Liberty, and that's over in Louisville, even though he's a Hoosier. So we always love having that Southern Indiana connection. We'll be there for that. Old502.com, socialanxietykyle.com. That was Kyle Mitchell who talked about social anxiety. And then, of course, everyone who has taken the time to be here today. Our winner is William Pernini. So, William, I will get in touch with you. That's a $100 gift card to Mesa Kids Cooking School. One of my most favorite things. We love that. One of my most favorite things, I was actually in Regalo, which JD co-owns with his sister, and there was a couple, and I was just eavesdropping and said, I have to know, how did you hear about Mesa Kids Cooking School? And they were from an Oldham County or something and had Googled and found it, and now they keep bringing their kid over here, and they get that little parent time.
Yes, that's really nice.
We love when we hear, and I know Josh knows this, and Josh, we love when we hear people are coming intentionally to New Albany, although we love everybody who lives here as well. So William Pernini, thank you so much. I'll be in touch with you. However you choose to spend your weekend, we hope you have a great one. Thanks for joining us for Extol Live. Eat up.